All right, real quick. Hey, what's up? Speaking of magic and all that stuff yesterday, I wish I could call in, but I never get to see TFR because I'm always in bed that time on that day. But there's a couple things that I would have loved to call in about. Sure, magic being the topic at hand. Certainly, in some form, it has to exist. I think that's absolutely true, or else the lore of it wouldn't exist for years and years. Sorry about all the noise. I'm having construction issues outside my house still. So don't let me lose my train of thought here. Yeah. If it wasn't a thing, we wouldn't know about it, right? It's been around for a very long time in any aspect, but yeah. But the incident with the breaking nose, I'm not quite sure if that's really that magical. I think that was more choreography than anything. And there should come a time when you realize that there's a lot of people playing against whoever watches the TV. For instance, we have audience coordinators, we have directors of photography, casting, people that pick the cast, right? Just like movies. Casting, that's what it's called, casting, like casting spells. These are all people that actually have a hand in this certain thing, right? Directors of photography. Like, how many things can you think of like that? Like photographers. That's a great one. We should start calling out photographers. Like, why did you take this picture with that number in the background? Is there a book? So I wouldn't absolutely call it magic. And if it's real magic, they're wasting it on something dumb that could be choreographed. And I think that's mostly choreographed. Like I just said, photographers. Well, how many times have you seen a picture of a police, like some police crime scene, and more often than not, the police tape is hung upside down? You know what I mean? Police zone, do not cross, or whatever it says, but most of the time it's upside down. So, do they use that to signal something? I think they could. I think if I was a photographer and I was trying to take a detailed picture where everything needs to be relevant, I would fix it to be right side up because it would bug me. But if they use it that way, it might signal something. Pay attention to that. Police line crossings, pay attention to how many times they're hung upside down. Who's that photographer? But yeah, the whole broken nose thing, I don't know. I mean, it's probably choreographed more than anything. And it's like random events, truly random events wouldn't have matching numbers that way. So I can see more like it's choreographed than anything. And they do use this, they do use this kind of stuff. Hold on, let me pause for a second. All right, I'm back, my bad. And then after all the people I just named, I even forgot some. Set designer. Like, all these things are important, right? Well, how come it needs so many hands? For movies especially. Maybe not, it wouldn't compare with sports so much, but, editor. Editor. I even forgot that. The editor, the one that lets you see it all. Like, say, people watching the nose break thing at home. Oh, of course, you're going to get all loud now. People that watch that the editor thing, the broken nose thing at home, that's all they know is what's on the TV. And I swear half the people in the stands don't watch the floor when they're at the game. They watch the TV anyway. What if they did that whole shot pre-hand, just because half the people in the crowd aren't really paying attention, and if they are, they're not paying attention close enough to notice that it's a shitty execution of some act, and then all they do is focus on the replay where it looks real. That would be an editing decision if they know they're going to do it. And the whole thing with that lady wearing the shirt, audience coordinator, there you go. Plus she's married to what's-his-nuts. Cameraman, right? They're all in on it. It's not magic. They're very organized. But you know what this proves to me? this proves to me that magic might not be that strong. Because think about this. If people could communicate with their minds and be magical, they wouldn't need to hide it in the language like that. They wouldn't need to use the language the way that they do. So let's not give them too much credit at the same time. Does that make sense? Because they wouldn't have to write this shit down. They would just have full control all the time. But no, what we're looking at is literally the language that we each use. They just use it differently. And let me pause again real quick. For instance, how we use it and how they use it. We just had a shooting, right, the other day. And most of the time, you can see that it's the authorities doing it because only authority practices gematria. Civilians don't. Okay, so the shooting we just had with the 191 and where it was at was 191, right? Some civilian is not going to wait to do that because they don't know the language. Authority does. And that's how you can use it against them. And how many times has it been this way? Almost all of them. See, I think hidden in how they do that, they let other police stations know, not all police, mind you, but when acts like that go down, where we can prove it's them, like the Umbrella Man what's the word? Existence? What was I going to say? Instance. That shows the rest of the people that actually do this in the police force, that shows them who did it, and it shows them not to look into it, and it also, I think, that gives them like this go-ahead signal for the next one, and it just keeps going. But the whole time, they're framing civilians. They're scaring civilians. Just think of the whole thing on January 6th earlier this year. We said the day before what was going to happen all the way down to who got shot. We knew it all. You know, those videos have been deleted, but, you know, think about that. Civilians don't do that. They don't know this language. Government does. And I've never found it so much harder to believe than having somebody talk to me about this and just be like, "Hey, listen, do you know what a police scanner is, and you know how cops talk through numbers?" And they go, "Yeah, of course I do." Okay, well, can't you wrap your head around that government would talk through numbers too on a higher level than police? And they're like, "Oh, you're crazy." Well, it just drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. So you have cops pretending to be civilians, to scare civilians, to frame civilians. These aren't random events. It's government. Look at it. Seriously. What else do you need to know, man? But back to magic. Yeah, I wonder about it. I really do. Remember that McDonald's song, "Do You Believe in Magic? Because I hope you do. You'll always have a friend wearing big red shoes." The old McDonald's lyrics. Yeah, there's no decoding in this one. I'm going to do a part 2 real quick, though. And I'm not going to even upload part 1 of this until part 2 is done. It's not going to be anything special, but I don't want to stick it on here. Maybe I should stick it on here. Yeah, fuck it, I'll stick it on here. Let me pause it again, though. I'll just isolate it later. Actually, it makes more sense that I put it at the end of this because it's not enough to do a full decode because I don't want to decode it, but I'm happy to point this out to you, okay? Magic. Magic, right? Harry Potter. How many people out there love Harry Potter? How many people know that the fictional name Harry Potter wasn't the first time the fictional name Harry Potter was used in a movie about magic? Did you know that? You can look this up right now. The movie is called Troll. It came out in 1986. And I'm not doing a decode, but please do if you will. It's wrapped around the Potter family. That's their name. The father's name is Harry, right? Harry Potter. 1986. Movie slightly about magic. The main character in that movie is Harry Potter Jr. And if you type in Harry Potter Jr. into the Gematrinator, check out reverse, it's 159, same as magician, magic. Now you can go further and look at somebody's blaming somebody for this. The people that wrote Troll are trying to say that J.K. Rowling stole their idea for Harry Potter. And it's unresolved. It will remain unresolved. But it's fun to look at. By the way, the movie Troll, it sucks. It's fucking trash. But see, it's unresolved. Like, who did it? Who, like, you stole my idea? No, I had mine first. Listen, they were shooting for the same numbers. So they can't admit it. That's as far as that goes. Harry Potter accidentally got named fictionally 2 times in 2 different series, and you only know one of them. The one you know came later. Harry Potter. So to me, that's proof that they practice gematria. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Long week. I've been working too much. I don't want to start bitching all day about it. But I'm happy to be home. I'm happy to get some of my ideas out there. And I'll tell you what, last night's show on TFR was fucking awesome. And I'm sorry I missed it. But hey, I love you guys. And you know how it goes. I'll see you in the chat. All right, peace.